Welcome to JD's Prep. In this video, we read about the Manx cat and how a genetic mutation plays a role in the size of its tail. This problem reads, a few breeds of cat have no tails. Manx cats have extremely short tails and may even appear to have no tail at all. Manx cats were first discovered several hundred years ago. Scientists have determined that a certain mutation in a group of genes, called T-box genes, interferes with the development of the spine in the cat embryo. Mutations in these T-box genes can cause abnormalities in the number, shape, and/or size of bones in the spines of Manx cats, which results in smaller spines and shorter tails. If a Manx cat inherits one copy of the mutated T-box gene and one copy of the normal gene, it will have a very short tail or no tail at all. If the cat embryo inherits two copies of these mutated genes, it will stop developing and die. Therefore, all surviving Manx cats have only one copy of the mutated gene. Let's look at a problem to see this in action. This problem asks us to state one reason why the mutation in Manx cat embryos causes them to have such very short tails. Recognize that cat tails are actually part of the spine, so a mutation would affect the tail or spine growth. Let's take a look at the next question. Two Manx cats have several litters of offspring. Explain how the genes that the kittens inherit determine whether they will have a normal tail or a short tail. Before we begin to answer this, let's look at the genotypes of the parents. If they are Manx cats, we know that they inherit one copy of the mutated T-box gene and one copy of the normal gene. So we'll represent the normal gene as capital M and the mutated gene as little m. Since generally a mutation is the recessive trait. And since the parents are both Manx, they will both be big M, little m. Let's look at what this Punnett square would look like. Recall that big M, little n represents a Manx cat. So big M will represent, we'll call it normal length tail. And little m is lethal, as stated in the description. Here we can see that in this Punnett square there would be two Manx cats produced, one normal cat, and one of them wouldn't make it to birth. So now let's explain how the genes that the kittens inherit determine whether they have a normal tail or a short tail. Well, if they're going to get a normal tail, that means they would have inherited the dominant trait, or two dominant copies. One from each parent. And if they're going to be a Manx, that means they inherited one normal copy from one parent and one mutated copy from another. And that explains how they would have inherited those genes. Thanks for visiting JD's Prep.